Welcome to the Tarryn Reeves Show, the podcast for elite entrepreneurs, visionary leaders, and high-impact CEOs who are ready to grow their brand, amplify their message, and build a legacy. I'm your host, Tarryn Reeves, multiple international best-selling author, publishing strategist, and founder of Automatic Authority Publishing and Press House. Each week, we dive into powerful conversations with trailblazing entrepreneurs and changemakers who are using storytelling to scale their business and impact. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and get ready for a dose of inspiration, strategy, and the truth behind what it really takes to turn your wisdom into wealth. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about something that is going to save you a lot of time, money, and heartbreak, and we do love that. This episode is all about the number one publishing mistake entrepreneurs make that is costing them clients. And I can guarantee you, if you've ever thought about writing a book or if you've already published one and you're wondering why it isn't bringing you leads, speaking opportunities, or sales, this episode will be that, like a light bulb moment. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most entrepreneurs do publishing completely wrong. They think publishing a book is the end of the journey. They see it as some momentous finish line. And it is, but the reality is that publishing your book is the starting line. So I want to ask you a question. How many books do you own right now that are sitting on your shelf gathering dust? And be honest, did those books change your life? Did they make you hire the author? Did they move you into action? If your answer is no, then you've just uncovered the exact problem most entrepreneurs face when they publish. They write a book that informs, but doesn't transform. They write a book that shares their story, but doesn't connect it to the reader's journey. Or they write a book that entertains, but doesn't convert. That's the mistake. And that mistake is costing entrepreneurs clients every single day. So let's get really specific here. The number one publishing mistake is this. Entrepreneurs treat their book like a passion project instead of a profit strategy. They write what they want to say instead of what their ideal reader needs to hear in order to become their next client. Now, don't get me wrong, I love passion, I love raw storytelling, but passion without strategy is just a diary entry, and readers don't buy diaries. Here's what typically happens. An entrepreneur gets excited about publishing. They sit down and write without a clear roadmap. They work with a publishing company that only cares about printing and distribution, not business outcomes for the author. And they launch the book, get their Amazon bestseller badge, and then crickets. No new clients, no speaking invitations, no media attention, and no ROI. And then they wonder why they bothered in the first place, because writing a book, it's a big thing. So part of the problem are the myths that the publishing industry feed us. We've been told, just get published and the opportunities will flow. Focus on sales, more sales equals more success. Your book is your legacy. But here's what they don't tell you. A book without alignment to your business is just a really, really expensive business card that nobody reads. Bestseller badges are great, but they mean absolutely nothing if your book doesn't bring in clients. And legacy is great, but if you're in business, your book also needs to build your business right now. And the publishing world has created this illusion that success is all about holding a copy of your book in your hands. But for entrepreneurs, success is about holding a new client contract in your hands. So how do we avoid this mistake? How do you publish a book that doesn't just sit on Amazon, but actually works as a client attraction machine? Here are the 5 pillars that I teach my clients. The first pillar is to start with the end in mind. Before you write a single word, ask yourself, what do I want my reader to do next? Is it to book a discovery call, join a mastermind, enroll in a program? That answer alone becomes the very spine of your book, the very heart of this piece of work. The second pillar is to position your book as a bridge. Your book must take readers from problem to possibility, and your business offer is the natural next step. The book isn't the solution. The book is the invitation to the solution. The third pillar is to serve, don't solve. You want to give your readers clarity, insights, and frameworks, but don't solve their entire problem inside the book. If you hand them the full recipe, they won't need the chef. Now, I do also say to give it all away, and I do mean that. Give as much clarity, all of your insights, all of your frameworks, and some people will be able to pick that up and move from A to B on their own, but most people won't. They need the chef. So you want to position yourself as the guide who can walk them through implementation. Pillar 4 is to layer your authority throughout the book. You want to be sharing client stories, case studies, your frameworks, your lived experience. Don't just tell readers you're credible, show them through examples. And pillar 5 is to think beyond launch week. The book isn't just about launch day, it's about how you use it for years to come. We want to be landing media, to get on stages, to nurture leads, to repurpose into content. And one book can feed your entire marketing ecosystem if you do it right. So let me share a story. One of my clients, let's call him David, came to me after spending 20 grand with another publisher. He had his book, he had his Amazon bestseller badge, and he had no clients. He was devastated. He thought the book was going to change everything. Instead, it became a very expensive ego boost. When he worked with me, here's what we did. We clarified his ideal reader and reframed his message. We tied his book directly to his consulting offer. We built a book to offer funnel that nurtured readers into leads. And then we relaunched his book with a strategic marketing plan. Now, within 60 days of that launch, David had signed 7 new consulting clients directly from his book. He was invited to speak at a national conference, and he had PR features in 2 major publications. That is the power of treating your book like a business strategy instead of a passion project. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, Tarryn, I don't want to make this mistake. I want my book to build my business, not break my heart. Then this is your invitation. Inside my AAA experience, I help entrepreneurs go from idea to best-selling book in 180 days or less. But more importantly, I make sure that the book actually works for your business. We guarantee bestseller status, reviews, and sales, but we also build the strategy that turns your book into a marketing machine. So if you're serious about not making this number 1 publishing mistake, head to automaticauthority.com and let's talk. Now, we're going to deeper dive into tactical tips. Let's get tactical. If you want your book to be a client magnet, here are some practical steps that you can start today. Write your book blurb before you write your book. Now, I know that this might sound tricky, and please understand that this isn't your final book blurb, but if you can't sell the idea of your book in 200 words, you won't be able to sell it in 50,000. Okay, so this is why I encourage you to write your book blurb before you start writing your book. Then I want you to map your book to your funnel. Each chapter should lead readers one step closer to wanting to work with you. I also want you to think about how you're going to naturally seed your services inside of that book. Share stories of clients that you've helped, examples of your frameworks, and insights that only you can provide. You want to think about what next steps you're going to offer. You want to invite readers to download a free resource, join your email list, book a call, something like that. Don't let them finish your book and just walk away. And I also want you to think about repurposing, because every chapter can become 10 plus pieces of content. Blog posts, social posts, videos, podcast episodes. Remember, your book is not the end product. It's the top of your authority funnel. So before I love and leave you, I want to leave you with one more story. A woman named Sarah came to me with a half-finished manuscript, as so many of you do. She was overwhelmed, second-guessing herself, and she was ready to give up. What we did was we restructured her book, aligned it with her coaching program, and mapped out a simple launch plan. And within 30 days of launch, she had not only hit number 1 bestseller in 3 categories, but she'd also signed her first 5 high-ticket clients directly from the book. Sarah said to me, for the first time, my book feels like a business partner and not a burden. And that's exactly what I want for you. So let's recap. The number one publishing mistake entrepreneurs make is treating their book like a passion project instead of a profit strategy. A book that does not align with your business will not attract clients. It will just sit on Amazon. To fix all of this, start with the end in mind. Position your book as a bridge. Serve but don't solve. Layer authority and leverage your book long after launch. If you love this episode, share it with another entrepreneur who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you never miss a show. And remember this, your story is your most powerful business asset, but only if you tell it strategically. So go out there, own your story, publish with purpose, and lead unapologetically. Until next time, have an amazing week. Thanks for tuning in to the Tarryn Reeves Show. If today's episode lit a fire in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a story that could transform your business. If you're ready to write the book that positions you as the go-to authority in your industry, visit automaticauthority.com to find out how we can help you make it happen. Until next time, keep owning your story, leading with impact, and building a legacy.